So we were studying waste generation. I explained you first of all what is waste. All right, waste is all the rubbish, trash, refuse, garbage, junk, or litter, the unwanted materials or the useless materials, the things that were broken down and were no longer required by you, or they were no longer in use, or the materials that was left over from certain process and you did not require it anymore. It was considered to be waste and it needed to be disposed of. All right, then Basel Convention defined waste of the objects which are required to be disposed of by the provisions that have been laid by the international law. According to the state in which the waste is existing, the waste is classified into three types, that is solid waste, liquid waste, and gaseous waste. All the solid material, that is the papers, plastic, bottles, vegetable peels, etc., that is generated is considered to be the solid waste. Then the waste that comes out from in the liquid form, that is the effluents from factories, the runoff from agricultural fields, the sewage from various places, it is considered to be liquid waste. Then we have the third category, gaseous waste, which is generally generated by the burning of fossil fuels, that is when from the exhaust of automobiles, from the chimneys of factories and other thermal power plants. All right, so gaseous waste is generated. So this was on the basis of in which state it is existing, that we have classified the waste into three types: solid waste, liquid waste, and gaseous waste. Then there was another classification that we studied yesterday. It was that on the basis of whether it is getting degraded easily or not. All right, it was divided into biodegradable wastes and non-biodegradable wastes, where biodegradable waste were the waste that could be degraded or broken down through microbial activities of fungi and bacteria. This will be the definition that you are going to give if you are asked. These wastes are easily broken down by the microorganisms. They are not harmful for the environment. They decompose and they mix with the natural ecosystem. All right, they are degenerated and converted into biomanures, which is used to fertilize the agricultural fields. All right, so instead of harming the natural ecosystem, it is in fact benefiting us by making our agricultural lands more fertile. On the other hand, the non-biodegradable waste was the waste which could not be degraded or broken down through microbial activities. For example, plastic, thermocol, synthetic pesticides, all of these could not be degraded by the microorganisms, and the longer it persisted in the environment, the toxic it became, the harmful it became. All right, so such types of waste that are toxic for the environment and that do not degrade by the microbial activities, they are considered to be non-biodegradable and they are harmful for the environment. Why? Because they get toxic. They release harmful chemicals in the environment and release harmful gases that are very, very harmful. So this was on the basis of whether it is getting degraded by the microorganisms or not, that it was classified into two, that is biodegradable waste and then non-biodegradable waste. So these were two classifications that you had studied, and now we are studying the classification according to the source of origin, that is from where the waste is being generated, that is according to the source of the origin, from where the waste is coming. So the first category was the domestic waste. All right, domestic waste included all the garbage from the daily household, and it included all the food, the kitchen waste, paper, glass, bottles, whatever materials that you discard of in day-to-day life, and it is collected by the municipality, that is considered to be the domestic waste. Then the second was industrial waste, Industrial waste was the waste generated from various types of industries, whether small or large scale industries. Um, Waste generated from various types of small and large scale industries are called industrial wastes. You can underline this and give it as the definition if it is asked in short type questions. And you would give 2-3 examples along with it. All right, so mark it. Industrial waste such as chemicals, that is lead, mercury, arsenic, etc., the harmful chemicals. Paint, sandpaper, fly ash, metals, etc., the source of industrial waste may be. Now, what does industrial waste include? It includes all the waste that is generated from the industries, and the examples of which are the paint, the sandpaper, the various harmful chemicals. All of these are considered to be industrial waste, and where they are generated in the food processing units. Then they're generated in the paper industry, then textile industry, petroleum industry, chemical industries, metal industries, cement industries, and nuclear reactors. So the waste generated from all these that have been enlisted over here are considered to be industrial waste, and they are very harmful, generally very harmful. All right. The third category that you have is industrial waste. Agricultural waste. Agricultural waste are generated from the farming activities. They include crop residue, husks, straw, wood waste, sand, dust, molasses, coconut waste products, nut shells, fruits and vegetable peels, manure, pesticides and insecticides, etc. All right. So if you are asked the definition, you can just mention that agricultural waste are the waste that are generated from the farming activities. And then you can give a few examples that have been enlisted over here. So basically, any waste that is generated from agricultural activities or from the, the food department, you can say the fruits, the vegetable peels, the rotten fruits. Then whenever you are consuming the nuts, the shells are thrown away, etc. You are drinking coconut water, the coconut or consuming the coconut, so the coconut shells are thrown away. Then there is wood waste. Then after the thresher takes out the grains from the crops, the husk and the straw portion is left out. All this is considered to be the crop residue which is left. All of it is considered to be agricultural waste. Most of these wastes are organic in origin because it is generated from the crops, from the plants. Therefore it is organic in nature and it can be composted and used as biomanure. That is, most of it is biodegradable. All right, and therefore all of this crop residue and wood and molasses, they are taken and it is composted. Composting is a process where you increase the rate of the process of degrading the biodegradable waste, and this waste is converted into manure. However, chemical fertilizers and pesticides leave harmful residue on the soil and have harmful consequences on the environment. So the part that has been discussed earlier over here was the biodegradable part. All right, but two of the things are that are given over here are non-biodegradable. That is the chemical fertilizers and pesticides that are used or sprayed on the crops. They are the non-biodegradable waste. The residue that is left on the fields, it is very harmful for the environment and it is not easily degraded. So most of the agricultural waste is biodegradable and it can be transformed or converted into manure, but some of it is, that is the fertilizers portion and the pesticides portion, are not biodegradable and they can be harmful for the environment. Next comes construction waste, that is waste generated at construction sites mainly due to demolition and construction activities is called construction waste. You can mark this much. The digging of the earth for foundation of high-rise buildings generate large amount of soil and rocks which are piled up and are known as overdumps. So now when ever there is construction going on at some place, especially when a demolition of an old building takes place to construct a new one. These days we often see that the builders, they buy old buildings, the ones that are no longer in use, and those buildings, they are broken down, and then the waste material that is generated, that is the debris left of the old building, is just thrown away like that. And then they also, because there's a trend now to make underground parkings or basements, therefore a huge amount of rocks and soil is being dug up, and that is to dumped uh, by the outskirts of the city or town, and it is left just like that, and it is getting accumulated as time is passing by. So the demolition and the construction activities, it is generating a lot of waste, and this waste is known as construction waste. The digging, that is digging of the earth that takes place, it also leads to dumping of rocks and soil that is getting piled up, and it is known as over dumps. These overdumps spoil the ecology of the site where they are dumped and take a long time to regenerate any type of vegetation. Now, because the soil is being dug up and all, mixed up by all the machinery, therefore it loses its fertility, and by the time it takes a lot of time for it to recover and become, suitable for a new type of vegetation to grow. And obviously when a huge amount of cement and bricks and all the constructional waste is thrown at a particular site, the ecology of that site is getting spoiled. Some example of construction wastes are bricks, pipes, wood, plastic, pieces of asbestos, marble, tiles, etc. So whatever material is used up in the construction of our homes or restaurants, whatever, all of it is included in the waste material. Then next is mining waste, the waste that is generated during mining operations. You know, mining, when the earth is dug deep, and they keep digging until they reach a point where the fossil fuels are present, and then the fossil fuels are dug up and taken out. This process is known as mining. So the wherever mining operations or executions are carried out, the ecology of that place is destroyed. All right, it is not that mining takes place in just or a small piece of land. It does not it does not work that way. When mining is done, a huge area of land, it gets spoiled. The ecology of that place, the ecosystem of that place gets spoiled. So the waste that is generated during the mining activities, that may be the soil that is being dug up, it may be the machinery that gets spoiled during the mining process. It might be that when you are digging for certain fossil fuel, but in between you reach for some wrong site, and some harmful chemicals that are stored beneath, they get released instead of the fossil fuels. So various kinds of things happen, and various wastes are generated, and the waste that is generated during such operation is known as mining waste. These include waste rock tailings, slag heaps, debris, etc. All right, whatever the rocks are being, dug up, and all the debris that is coming out, as I have mentioned, it all adds up to the mining waste. These wastes spoil the ecology of the place by denuding the vegetation of the place. Obviously, the vegetation is getting affected because I told you that mining is not done in just a small area of land. It takes up a large area, it covers up a large area, and it is affecting the vegetation of that place. All right, Then the ore or minerals may reach the water bodies or groundwater and contaminate it. They may contain dangerous heavy metals which may enter the food chain. So it is said that when you are digging up the minerals or the ores that you are taking out, they may reach the water bodies that are present nearby, and they can contaminate it. Obviously, when you are digging the fossil fuels or you're digging the metals, they are not present in their raw state. All right, it is not present in the normal form. It is present in a complicated and not a very pure form, and then it has to be processed to extract the metal out. So the ores that are present inside the earth, they may contain harmful chemical along with the metals that you desire to take out. So they might reach the water bodies, and it might contaminate those. Then they may contain dangerous heavy metals which may enter the food chain. So sometimes what happens that the metals that are being extracted, they themselves might be harmful, and it might happen that it enters the food chain. That is, it gets absorbed into the soil, gets absorbed by the plants, the roots of the plants, and then it enters the food chain. That is, it passes on from organism to organism. For example, a very common example is mercury entering into the food chain. What happens that mercury is often, because of various processes, released into the water bodies, and then fishes, they mercury gets accumulated in the bodies of the fishes, and then it is consumed by various animals or human beings, and it causes all kinds of diseases, because we know that mercury is a poisonous substance. So it causes various kinds of diseases in the organisms. So this is all about mining waste. Then we move to hazardous or toxic wastes. Certain wastes are classified into hazardous or toxic waste as they pose a serious threat to the human health and environment. All right, some of the wastes that are generated, they are considered toxic. I told you toxic would mean that they are very, very harmful, poisonous. All right, they might even have fatal results. That is, they might even end up into death of some organism. So they pose a serious threat to human health as well as the environment. These wastes may be solid, liquid, or sludge, and contain chemicals, heavy metals, radiation, dangerous pathogens, and other toxins. All right, such waste that contains heavy metals, like the poisonous metals, like I told you, lead, mercury, or they might be in the form of radiation. All right, the harmful radiations that are being released, and then dangerous pathogens, that is the infectious microorganisms, the microorganisms that cause various kinds of diseases. The waste might contain those pathogens, and then some other toxins. They all are taken up in this category of toxic waste. That is, they pose a serious threat to the environment as well as to its organisms. Even households generate hazardous waste from items such as batteries, used computer equipment, and leftover paints or pesticides. So the same, sometimes even the households, they generate such toxic waste. For example, when we are discarding our inverter batteries, all right, now every house has got inverters, and the batteries along with it contain very harmful chemicals. All right, so when they are disposed of, or when their batteries are cleaned, uh, harmful chemicals are being released. All right, they are being just let out into the drains from our houses. Or for example, when nowadays people are flooring their getting their flooring done with the marbles. All right, so marble polishing is being done, and the polish that is being washed out, contains very harmful chemicals. All right. Similarly, there are other examples that are given over here. They all, like for example, computer equipment, then pesticides, then the paints that are done on the walls. They all are let out into the drains and left just thrown away like that, not safely discarded, and they are very toxic for the environment if they reach the soil or the food chain or the water bodies. They prove very harmful for the environment. These generally come from the industries, hospitals, agricultural, etc. These may be pollutants like mercury, lead, halogenated fluorocarbons, dioxins, asbestos, polychlorinated biphenyls, and vinyl chloride. So these are some of the names, that is the names of the various chemicals that are very, very harmful. You have heard about PVC glue and etc. So PVC, what it is? Polyvinyl chloride. It is a very harmful chemical. Nowadays we get PVC pipes and all. All right. So generally it is also used in industries and in our everyday day-to-day life in our homes. But these are very, very harmful. The chlorofluorocarbon gas that is used in our refrigerators, it is very, very harmful for the environment. These wastes need proper disposal, as most of them enter the food chain and cause biomagnification along the food chain. So when they are not disposed or discarded properly or in the right way, it gets accumulated. Biomagnification, I told you, biomagnification is some harmful chemical or some toxic material getting accumulated with time, especially in the food chain, is biomagnification. So these harmful chemicals also, when they are discarded off not in a proper manner, they reach the water bodies, they reach the soil, and then they enter the food chain. They get absorbed by the plants, and then they are eaten up by the microorganisms, and they get enter into the food chain, causing serious threats to the other organisms as well as humans. They can be carcinogen and cause organ failure and death. Carcinogen are materials that cause cancer. All right, carcinogen substances are the substances that cause cancer in the in our bodies, in humans as well as animals, and these can cause organ failure and as well as death. So you can understand how serious these things are. All right, they can cause such um, harmful, such deadly diseases, and have such harmful effect on the body, and they might also prove fatal for us. All right, then we have biomedical wastes. These are the wastes that are generated from the activities performed in the hospital and diagnostic centers. These include syringes, needles, plastic bottles, bandages, cotton, gloves, plasters, pathological waste like blood, tissue, body parts, body fluids, etc. These wastes need proper disposal because they may carry disease, causing pathogens, and have the potential of spreading diseases. All the waste that is being generated from the pathologies and the hospitals, they are going to come under this category, that is biomedical waste. When operation is done, suppose a part, an organ of a person is contaminated because of certain disease, so that portion is being cut out from the person, and now how it is, what is to be done of that? It is usually thrown away. All right. So what is it going to cause? It is going to spread the infection that is present in that particular organ. It is going to spread the infection. All right, obviously, when it is discarded unsafely. Then from the pathology, you get your syringes. All right, every day thousands of syringes are being thrown away, because nowadays what is the how the process is being done. They take up a new syringe, they would extract your blood for taking conducting the blood test, and they are going to throw away the syringe, they are going to throw away the cotton, all right, that is used. Then the blood that is taken, the or that is that comes out of the body during operations, all of it is being thrown away or discarded or disposed of. Some hospitals might be disposing it in the right way. They are treating it and then releasing into the environment, while the others, they are just throwing it away directly into the environment. So if it is not disposed of in the right manner, it is going to cause serious diseases. All right. If suppose somebody is going through, and for example, right now, what is happening, the people who are dying of this coronavirus, their bodies, how are they being disposed? They are being wrapped up in plastic, and then they are being a hole is being dug up, and the bodies are made to they are dug up and they place the dead bodies in that, and they cover it. Fine. They are burying the bodies wrapped in plastic, so that when the body decays, the virus might not be released and gets mixed up into the soil. By the time it happens, the virus might die, so the chances might be reduced. Though this is also not the right way, but because the right way to dispose of the bodies has not yet been indicated, or we are not guided through it, so this is being done. So why they are being wrapped up in plastic? Just as a precaution that the virus does not enter the soil, and does not enter the food chain. So similarly, all of these waste that is coming from the hospitals, that is coming from the pathology, if it is not being treated in the right way, it might cause serious problems. All right. Then the next is e-waste, that is the electronic waste, the waste that is being generated from the electronic or electrical appliances. It is any broken or unwanted electrical or electronic appliance. It includes computer, its parts, TV, mobiles, etc. You can underline up till here, etc. Since these wastes cannot be recycled, they are dumped at isolated places such as places as e-waste. All right, these materials, they are not recycled, they cannot be recycled, and they are not biodegradable, so they are just getting dumped at isolated places, at deserted places where no one lives. Many components of such equipments are toxic and contain substances like lead, mercury, cadmium, etc. So the chemicals that are being used in forming these equipments, forming these appliances, are generally very harmful chemicals, and because there is no proper way of disposing them off, they are just getting dumped. They are non-biodegradable and remain in the environment until disposed by a suitable method. So there has to be a suitable method to dispose these off, and up till then they remain present in the environment and keep getting accumulated. The IT companies are major contributors of such waste. The IT companies, they are generating this type of waste in bulk. The rapid development in science and technology and increased consumerism has led to considerable increase in the generation of e-waste. Because there has been rapid development in science and technology, and there is a there has been an increase in the demand of the consumers. Therefore, the generation of such kind of waste has also increased to a considerable amount. For example, I have bought a mobile phone, and now the technology has updated. A new software, a new system has come into the market. Though my old mobile phone is working, yet I would like to update myself to a new software. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to discard of my old mobile, and I'm going to buy a new one to keep myself updated with the new technology. So has been a development in the technology, and there has been an increase in the demand of the consumer. So what is it leading to? It is leading to increase in the amount of e-waste that is being generated. And because there is no proper way yet to dispose this waste of, therefore it keeps getting accumulated into the environment. Then the next one is radioactive waste. Radioactive wastes are the most hazardous waste and need to be handled carefully as they remain dangerous for thousands of years. Radioactive wastes are the, the generally the harmful radiations that are released from the industries. They are generated from X-ray machines in hospitals and airports. All right. Then nuclear power plant from diagnosis and treatment of certain diseases in hospitals and diagnostic centers. Testing of nuclear weapons and atomic research centers are sources of radioactive wastes. Radioactive wastes are hazardous as they cause genetic and somatic variations in humans. Some radioactive elements are uranium, plutonium, polonium, cesium, and strontium. So what is happening that these elements that have been mentioned over here, uranium, polonium, plutonium, cesium, and strontium, they release harmful rays. All right, they are producing some rays that are harmful, which cause genetic variations. That is, they cause your genes to change. You must have studied now in your biology about chromosomes, the genetic material, the DNA. All right, you must have started your chapter, and by now you must be knowing about these things. So these rays, they cause changes in the whatever genetic structure, genetic setup is present in your body. It causes variation in that. All right, and this might lead to deformation of your body parts, or it might lead to various kinds of diseases. For example, the most common disease that is that is caused by these harmful rays is cancer. All right, it leads to cancer. So how are from where is this waste being generated? It is generated when x-rays are conducted in the hospitals, or when x-ray machines are used at the airport to scan the luggage of the travelers. Then it is generated when nuclear weapons are tested. Now many of the countries, they have nuclear weapons, and while forming those nuclear weapons and while testing those nuclear weapons, they are emitting harmful rays which are affecting the people adversely. All right, then there are certain nuclear power plants that are being set up, and which are releasing harmful rays into the environment. So all of these are the sources of such radioactive waste. They are generating various kinds of all these radioactive elements that give out harmful radiations. All right, and they need to be handled carefully. Why? Because they remain radioactive. That is, they keep releasing those rays for thousands of years. All right, they remain in this position. These elements, they remain in the position of being capable to release these harmful radiations for thousands of years. So when we are generating such kind of waste, we must be very careful in disposing it away. All right, so according to the base of origin, that from where it is being originated, waste has been classified into domestic waste, industrial waste, agricultural waste, construction waste, mining waste, hazardous or toxic waste, biomedical waste, e-waste, and finally the radioactive waste. This is the classification on the basis of origin.